Good morning, everyone. This is Gail from Quality Sewing and Vacuum in the Pacific Northwest, and I'm going to share some of the techniques that I used in my quilt for the March 2021 Sew Fun program. You can go to qualitysewing.com and view that presentation, but I took some embroidery designs and altered them a bit in order to make my quilt blocks. And I used the Floriani Circle Template tool. So I'm going to share today how I accomplished that. So the first thing, this is using designs from Tula Pink. And there are some elements on her design CD that are just little small portions of a larger design. So let's go take a look real quick. I'm going to open up maybe the first design. Let's take a look real quick. This is from Lineworks from Tula Pink, and this is a peacock, which is the center square to my quilt. And there are elements. There's a little peacock feather down here, and then there's this crown of a heart with kind of irradiating lines. And she has split those out on her design CD. So I'm going to first go in and choose one of those peacock feathers. And that is number 14 on her CD. So the design started out looking like this, and I'm going to go ahead and do the 3D so you can kind of see what that looks like. And before I multiply these and rotate them, I'm going to come in here and choose the first color and change it from gray to a little bit different color. This is just going to help illustrate the color sort tool and a few other things. So I've got turquoise, gray, and pink. There's 3 colors to my design. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to click this All Items. That's going to grab all 3 colors. So when I repeat them, it's going to repeat all 3 colors. Once that is all highlighted and my highlight color is hot pink, I'm going to go up to my Circle Template tool. And that looks like these little stars in the form of a circle up here on the left-hand side. That's going to bring up a window that gives you some different options. So the first option up here is going to be the width and height of a basic circle. So this is the block dimensions, or the outside the entire unit dimensions. I also, if you'll make note, I have circle dimensions here, and I have an output size down here, and they are different. What it means is there's a circle, an invisible circle, right down the middle of the design, right in the center here. That is the circle dimensions here, and the output size is going to be my outside dimensions of any little stitches around the outside. If I want those to be the same height and width, like a circle instead of an oval, then I'm going to keep this keep aspect ratio chosen, and I'm going to change these to 8. See, if I change one, then the other one changes. If I want to see what that's going to look like midstream, then I can hit apply or select apply, and it's going to actually make changes as I go, but it hasn't created my new circle yet in my design field. The next section of options here is count. How many of them do I want? The angle is going to be a pie wedge from a center section here out. If you can kind of picture a wedge of each design, that is a 60-degree angle. There are rulers out there that do 10-degree and 15-degree wedges. So if you knew your angle, then you can change angle. If you know how many items you want, then you can change the count. They are going to change together. If I decide I want 12 here, then my angle changes to 30. If I want 24, then my angle changes to 15. And those are all based on a 360-degree circle. So I'm going to keep this at 6 for now. And then my offset angle is just how these set on the circle. Think of a clock. Is it at 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and 9 o'clock? Or do I want them to be more like 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, that kind of a thing? So I can change that angle that way. All right. Design properties. This little section has to do with each individual little element. This one is at 100% of the design size that it came in to my, my circle. And the angle is how they twist towards the circle. So as I change this, you'll take a look. This particular element on the left-hand side in the 9 o'clock position is going to be the one that is the angle. I mean, this looks like the one that we started out with. Right there. Okay? And this particular program rotates to the left. Okay? Counterclockwise. So if I change this to a 90-degree angle, then this one is going to rotate. Actually, it rotated to the right. Okay. So this is a 90-degree angle. So this shows that the top of my design is facing in. I could change this to 180. That's going to put that facing down. I can change that to 270. And that's going to face out. Or if I'm facing out like this and I want to do real quick, I can do a reflect. That's going to automatically make it face the opposite direction. These can be changed in single degrees. So if I wanted to rotate this to 300 degrees, I'm going to start to get something that looks almost like a wreath. If I go ahead and change this up to 12 elements, then I really start to look like a wreath. If I continue to change my angle, and I'm just going to type in 320 because I've done this before, and apply, then I'm going to start to get an angle to where they actually touch. So now I've got a wreath that touches. So this is really, really fun to play around with. Think of a kaleidoscope where you get to twist and turn items and really make them into something else. Color sort is going to be something that you want to do. I have 12 items here. Each item has 3 colors. If I do not have this color sort button chosen, when I pull this back into my design field or my design page, I'm going to have 36 color stops. Because it's going to do the turquoise, the gray, and the pink for my first design, turquoise, gray, and pink for my second design, my feathers, turquoise, gray, and pink for my third design. If I do color sort, then I'm going to end up with 3 colors. It will do all of the turquoise, then it will do all of the gray, and then it will do all of the pink. So I do want to do that. And then if I want a circle like this, that is going to actually, rotate around the circle, then I'm going to do this auto rotate. If I unselect that auto rotate, you see what happens to each of those designs. This 9 o'clock design is still at 320 degrees. So is this one, so is this one, and so is this one. So they're all facing that same direction. It doesn't give you quite the same look. So in this case, I'm going to choose that auto rotate. I already explained the reflect. That's tail in, tail out kind of a thing. And once I hit apply, is going to make any changes that I've done along the way. This particular block is going to turn out to be 11 by 11. If I want this to fit more the size that I used in the quilt, which is about 8-inch blocks, 8-inch embroideries, 10-inch fabric, then I need to alter this design, and I already know that I need to change that more down to a size 5. Also, you can see what happens to my feathers when I do that. I'm going to change the scale of each feather down a bit so that it looks like it did before, and it's not kind of crowded. These can go all the way down, and I can have little itty-bitty elements kind of sitting out there like that if I want. So I believe mine were somewhere around here. Okay, so now I've got a design block that is, yeah, maybe could be a little bit bigger, but you can play around and come up with something like that. When I am done deciding what I want this to look like and I'm happy with it, then I hit OK or select OK, and it's going to change that single element into my design. So here is my wreath design, 3D and not 3D. And here is another option where I've got 6 of them. Now I did a couple little items. This circle right here is my 8-inch circle. When I first chose that page, this is those first 2 blocks. Circle dimensions, that's the center of my design, remember? And then my output is this box all the way around the outside edge. And this element right here is the one that has all the, that's your base. That's block number 1. That's where you start, is in this position right here. Okay. Another block that I did was this one, and I'm going to just walk real quick through that. I brought in the single element that looks like this. I deleted the bottom section of this right here. Part of it is this granite, so I can highlight that and delete it. And a second part is all kind of worked into the rays up here and the color. So if I run over here to the left to Stitch Tool, that's going to let me delete single stitches. So if I just highlight those and hit delete on my keyboard, those are gone. So I have a little short element like that. And when I bring that into my circle template tool, remember I'm going to grab all items, circle template. Remember, 9 o'clock position looks just like the one I started with, right? So here, I'm going to change this to 5. I'm going to change this to 12. I am going to change this to 270. Nope, actually I'm going to save it, turn it to 90, and leave off the reflect. And what I get is that design that you may have seen a few minutes ago. My block is about 8 by 8, and my scale is at 100. If I had been up here at 4, you'll see how these lines kind of cross each other, and that's not something I wanted to be poking out. Besides, my output size was pretty close to 7, and I wanted it closer to 8. So by changing my circle, I was able to get rid of those little lines. It just spread these out a little bit. You can see as I do this some more, this is what I'm really doing is just making this spread out farther and farther, and my block gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I can also scale my design down, and my block will get smaller. So it's all a matter of playing back and forth. I'm going to put that back to 100, and I'm going to put that back to 5. And there is my circle. So that is just another one of the blocks that ended up in my quilt. So I hope you enjoy this technique on creating many different items from one single element. And there's many to play. I have 12 different blocks using 2 different elements. So lots and lots of options. Okay, you have a wonderful day. Thank you very much. And don't forget to check out that Sew Fun session. Goodbye.